So I heard about this emulator for PCs called MuMuPlayer. On the website, you can see that it is currently available for Windows and Mac OS. And since I'm using Windows, I got the setup file for Windows and I installed it. The installation process is actually simple, but it might take some time depending on your internet speed. But as soon as it's done installing, you'll get a virtual Android phone waiting for you. So I launched it and I decided to look around, and I logged into the Play Store and started downloading apps. When it comes to apps, I'll say that this emulator is fine. I tried it with Vivaldi, my favorite browser, and it runs smoothly. Next, I tried WhatsApp and it worked as expected. Then I tried Google Meet for making video calls. That one worked too. But the thing I was more interested in was seeing how good the emulator is with games. It's something they mention a lot on their website. On my phone, I have just three games: Delta Force, Call of Duty Mobile, and Dream League Soccer. And those are the games I was interested in playing, so I started downloading them. I was eagerly waiting to use my mouse and keyboard on a bigger screen for the first time on those games. After downloading Delta Force, I tried to play it, but well, I got this message: emulators not allowed. I was a bit disappointed, but well, I still had Call of Duty, so I decided to try it out, but Call of Duty didn't even run. At that point, I felt like maybe all the popular first-person shooter games were not allowed for emulation. But then I remembered this app store that came pre-installed, and I decided to look around, and I found this game called Destiny Rising, so I decided to install it. I thought maybe the apps on this app store were more compatible with the emulator, so yeah, I decided to install the game. The game was 8 gigs in total, and I didn't have fast internet, so I waited for a while. So after the game was done downloading, I decided to try it for the first time, and surprisingly, it worked with my mouse and keyboard. I didn't have to change any settings for it to work, and it was fun to play the game this way. Honestly, I would say that I spent way too much time playing the tutorial than I intended to. So next I tried DLS, Dream League Soccer, one of the games that I have on my phone, and surprisingly, it was the first game from the Play Store that actually worked. Now, normally I don't like playing football games using mouse and keyboard. People that do that, honestly, I don't know how you do it. So I decided to get my controller. This is the Terios T3 controller, and I connected it with my PC, and the emulator picked up the gamepad. It just said gamepad detected. I actually had to map the game to the controller, and as soon as I was done, I was able to play reasonably well. I was carrying out skills and scoring goals, but I was not used to the controls. The football game I normally play is FC, so it's hard just switching to another football game on a controller and expecting to play very well. And something that I noticed while playing the game using this controller is that you can't press more than 2 buttons at the same time. So keep that in mind if you decide to use your controller to play DLS. I haven't noticed it on other games yet. I've only used my controller to play DLS. So the next game that I tried to play was Blood Strike. After downloading the game and going through the tutorial, I got the emulator ban notification. Yes, I downloaded the game from the Play Store. I had a feeling it would not work, but I still wanted to give it a try. At that point, I felt like it was just time to end the video. All the screen recordings I had, I felt like they were enough for maybe a video like this, since all the games that I really wanted to play from the Play Store were not working. But then I remembered I saw a featured comment about using the emulator to play PUBG and Fortnite. Now, I have never played Fortnite, but I've played PUBG in the past. That was years ago, I think 2018, 2019, and I didn't like it. But I decided to try it just for this video. So I installed the game and started the tutorial. The first instruction was click and drag to look around. In my head, I knew that it would be hard to play the game that way, because how would you be able to look around, then quickly bring your cursor to the button that you can use for shooting? But then this notification popped up. By pressing this key on your keyboard, you should be able to play the game just like every other FPS game. So I decided to press the key, and that was it. I could just play the game like every FPS game. I didn't have to map my keyboard with anything. I was able to easily go through the tutorial, but I was still worried that I would get that emulator ban notification later on. Funny enough, I did, but this time, instead of banning me, I was able to play with other players using an emulator. Honestly, I think that this is the best solution for emulator users. Give them the chance to play with other emulator users, not ban them. Let's say, for example, I wanted to play Delta Force, but my phone was dead. Well, I would just hop on my PC and then run the emulator and play the game. And I'll play with other people that use emulators. I know there's Delta Force for PC, but I don't want to install that. That game is very heavy, like I think around 100 gigs. I'm not sure. And I'm not sure if you get to use the same weapons you have on the mobile phone on the PC. I don't know if you get what I mean. Anyways, so since I knew that I was able to play the game on the emulator, I decided to play a solo match because I couldn't get a match with 4 players. So after landing and grabbing some weapons, I started to hear footsteps. And even worse, I was getting shot at. I didn't even see who was doing it. Just letting you know, you will hear a lot of footsteps in this game. Anyways, so I decided to step outside to look around and I saw someone. And that's how I got my first kill. Now, I have heard that when you're playing PUBG for the first time, you'll be playing with bots, not real people. But I was enjoying myself, so I kept going. For my second kill, I was just fooling around, then I got shot at. But the good thing is that the bots did not have a good gun, so I fired back. I kept playing, avoiding the blue zone, then I got to this table, picked up some ammo, and then I heard footsteps. So that was my third kill. I eventually got my fourth and fifth kills, then I found this boat and couldn't drive because the button layout changed, and I panicked. I eventually died in the blue zone, and that was how the game ended for me. So yeah, you don't need to remap your buttons unless you intend to drive. After PUBG, I played some other games because I'm not going to lie, I was a bit angry. Bots or humans, I really wanted that chicken dinner. Anyways, overall, I'll say that MuMuPlayer is a very good emulator. It may take some time for you to get used to the controls. It depends on who you are, anyways. Like for me, I feel like I'm getting too old. But as long as the games that you're playing are supported, then you should have fun using the app or the software or the emulator. Anyways, that's all for this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you have questions about the emulator, you can let me know in the comments and I'll respond as soon as I can. Please like and subscribe. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Take care and bye-bye.